And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control. We will stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time?
Any priority or...
And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about amateur radio. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We are recording now, live till 5, and then we'll post it up on YouTube, so you can come by later and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're now featuring about 1,100 QSO-VLOG airchecks. Also this afternoon, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring Rochester, New York, Milford, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Georgia, and Arlington, Virginia, trying to get a better copy on our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of this selector is a co-phase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. We do use a lot of rotary selectors in our shack, mainly because there's nothing faster than a rotary switch for comparing multiple signals. Also today, we're running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR to the FT990, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video later. Well, those are our working conditions. How about yours? This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yeah. Border. Charlie, got a copy? Yeah. Roger. You're about 10 over 9. Direct. 10 over 9 direct with a short skip actually predominating. Overcast day here, overcast and 47 degrees. And we had some rain this morning, and the snow is all gone except for very isolated spots in the shade. So we're getting close to spring. There's no green grass yet, no buds on the trees, nothing. So the trees in the ground look like the dead of winter up here, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, how's your 40-meter transmissions to, where? I have a mental block. Tell me where you usually transmit in the morning, Charlie.
I have a mental block. Tell me where you usually transmit in the morning, Charlie. Into Australia, but I missed it by a couple of minutes. Ian, who I work quite often, VK3MO, got on a little earlier than I did. He was early, I was late, and I missed out. I'm going to be missing some of the schedules in the future. It's catching up to me on my sleep, so I'll probably do it about 4 days a week instead of 7, because I have to get up before 6 o'clock, way before 6, and I don't get to bed until after midnight. So I'll be in there, but not quite as frequent. The signal is absolutely pristine in here. Very good, but I understand the conditions were very good down into Australia. To give you an idea how you're coming in direct, here it is. Got a rotary switch for comparing multiple signals. Also today, we're running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR... Okay, I hope that came through there. You're doing a great job, that direct. Yeah, KC9VKV, K1GZL up in the northern end of New Hampshire.
Roger, Roger, Charlie. Well, thank you very much for the recording. I really appreciate that. Did you? I guess you're all okay now with your recording situation. Is that a Roger?
With your recording situation, is that a Roger?
Yeah, it seems to be okay. It seems to be okay at present. I sure had a lot of problems with it, and I had to hold the microphone up to right up to the speaker on the cassette. But everything is electronic, and it's working like it used to. At least we hope, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Well, it sounded like everything was copacetic with the circumstance, but then there wasn't a lot of difference from when you were doing it by the microphone, playback by the microphone. Just maybe a slight amount of compression, I guess it was. Sounded just a little bit fuller through the mic, Roger.
Sounded just a little bit fuller through the mic, Roger.
You mean better than it does at the present time? Well, the microphone, of course, I'm using the wide position 3.6, the wide position, and much compression here at all. Just the 3 position on the 7300. But what I'm trying to do, Jim, just simply is sound like myself. Sound like me, because you hear so many stations on that are so compressed, beginning to wonder what they sound like in person. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger that. That's why, in our tune-up procedure for the 7300, we do suggest engaging the compressor, but only at a 3. Just a very token amount. It does exactly what it needs to do, and it's very transparent. You can't hear it working, and I think that's the way equipment should be set up, to where it operates and does what it needs to do, but you don't hear it working. That's the best kind of a setup, I think. And then we move to that ALC and suggest that, they use their mic gain. Once they get their compressor in line, use their mic gain to adjust that ALC to about mid-scale to 2/3. And at that adjustment, your dynamic range is 3 dB, and your average percent of peak modulation is between 80 and 85%. Average peak modulation. Roger?
85% average peak modulation. Roger?
Roger on that, and we're trying to get everything to work correctly. The only problem is I don't have an antenna tuner at the moment, and we're up here on 7188. My SWR is not the greatest, and the output is down a little bit here. So, but we're trying. We're trying. It could be next week at this time. Could be next week at this time if conditions will permit. I'll have another aeronautical mobile from KX4 Whiskey Charlie. That's nice. He'll be flying a transport Boeing 767 from Sacramento to Philadelphia there, and we'll probably pick him up over Nebraska or Iowa. And he really does, with a 7-8 foot piece of wire toward the back of the plane and 400-watt input. He does one heck of a job on 20 meters. I mean, he rocks and rolls even if the fan's halfway open. And at the moment, I do have an electrical noise, but he generally covers that up in good shape. Well, Jim, thank you so much. Thank you for picking me up today, and we'll try to be in here tomorrow. I suspect you are picking me up from Rochester, New York. KC9VKV, always a pleasure, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, I had to fade back to Milford. Milford came up with a little hotter signal, so I just decided to stay with Milford. But I looked at about a 12 over their local noise level at Milford, so good signal. So, Charlie, 3 to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and we might run just a little bit long today, just to kind of check the situation. You know, we were talking about maybe starting our net a little bit later, but you know, probably we want to kind of test the waters to see how that extra hour goes. So we'll probably be doing that this afternoon, Roger.
Probably be doing that this afternoon, Roger.
Okay, well, good luck on that, and let me know next week how that worked out. I think it probably would be a little better because you still have daytime absorption going on, and that is probably limiting it, or limiting it. That's better English, I think. Limiting it just a little bit, Jim. So. Yeah, I think if it were an hour later or an hour and a half later, it would be more consistent, and the signals would even be a little bit stronger. 73, Jim, and thanks always for a good one, and you've been absolutely solid right in the shack here. KC9VKV, K1GZL, the best. See you next week.
Roger, Roger, Charlie. 3's that way, sir. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend coming up, and we'll see you next Friday. 3's. This is KC9VKV. My name is Jim, known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 5, Delta.
3's, old man, it's 73. 3's belongs on the Citizens Band.
I'm sorry, you repeat the last?
I'm sorry, you repeat the last?
3's belong on the Citizens Band. It's 73 on the ham band.
Wow, sir, thank you very much for that fine critique. I'll take it into consideration. But 3's to you, sir.
Into consideration. But 3's to you, sir.
This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 5, Delta, India, Zulu.
There's a November, was that a November 5 station?
Was that a November 5 station?
Yeah, Jim, November 5, Delta, India, Zulu. The name here is Gran.
Okay, what was the name? Gran?
Okay, what was the name? Gran?
Gran, Foxtrot Radio, Alpha, November.
Roger, Fran, what kind of radio are you running today, ma'am?
Roger, Fran, what kind of radio are you running today, ma'am?
I'm on a Kenwood TS2000 on an MFJ 1796 on a 100 watts and half modulation.
Roger, Roger. And what was the antenna again?
Roger, Roger. And what was the antenna again?
It's an MFJ 1796 40-meter trap vertical.
Okay, looking at your audio, you have about a 3 dB dynamic range, which is pretty much exactly where you want to be. That would give you a 80 to 85% average peak modulation, but it could take just a little more top-end EQ, maybe a click or two more top-end to add some definition to your audio. You know, I think the articulation is extremely important in HF, particularly when a lot of times we find ourselves in somebody else's noise situation, Roger.
In somebody else's noise situation, Roger.
Roger, Roger. I appreciate you helping me out, checking my radio out.
Roger, and Fran, what was your location?
Roger, and Fran, what was your location?
Fulton, Illinois, right on the Mississippi. Fulton, Illinois.
Roger, Roger. Well, thanks for checking in there. And like I say, the only thing that might help your signal just a little bit would be a little more top-end EQ for some added articulation, Roger.
For some added articulation, Roger.
Roger, Roger. We'll see if we can get that taken care of. Hang on just a second.
Roger, Roger. Now, I'm assuming that you know exactly where you're going on that TS-2000.
Exactly where you're going on that TS-2000.
Say again?
Oh, I assume that you were going to crank in the EQ at the moment as we speak?
Crank in the EQ at the moment as we speak?
No, we just turned the processor on and off.
Roger, Roger. Well, usually we suggest that you run your processor engaged at about a 3. Our standard tune-up procedure is the processor on at about a 3, and then move to your ALC meter with your mic gain in hand, and adjust your mic gain to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3 after you have engaged your compressor at a 3. Roger.
Engaged your compressor at a 3. Roger.
Roger, Roger. We're good then.
All righty. Well, thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. You have a great weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday, Roger.
And if you get a chance, join us next Friday, Roger.
Roger, absolutely. We'll try to do that. Thank you so much.
Roger, and just that last transmission, you reached a peak of about 12 dB over my, actually the Milford PA SDR background level, the noise level of the Milford PA SDR, about a 12 dB over that. So 3's there, and thanks for dropping by, and we'll catch you next Friday if you have a chance. This is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net, and we may be running along today just to sample the situation because we may be thinking about starting an hour later, but that's only in the thinking mode at the moment. This is KC9VKV listening.
This is KC9VKV listening.
November Sugar for Foxtrot.
November Sugar for Foxtrot. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
For Foxtrot. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Hey, Jim, it's Reginald. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Reginald. Where are you located, sir?
Pretty good, Reginald. Where are you located, sir?
Okay. Located over in Raleigh, North Carolina, and heard you starting the net up. Just wanted to jump in and say hello and see how you doing with distance socializing.
Well, I think that condition is made just perfectly for amateur radio. What do you think?
Made just perfectly for amateur radio. What do you think?
It fits me real fine, Jim. It fits me real fine. Retired, and I normally sit at home anyway, so that's A-okay with me. I'm not going to hold you. I just wanted to drop by and say hello. I know that you're running it, and I'm quite sure that several people want to get their equipment checked, but I just wanted to drop by and say howdy to you, okay?
Roger, Roger. What radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Roger. What radio are you running today, sir?
The 5000, FTDX 5000, Yazers.
Roger, Roger. Looks good. Looks good. I wouldn't change a thing. Get the duct tape out. Oh, I'm sorry. Get the Gorilla tape out.
Duct tape out. Oh, I'm sorry. Get the Gorilla tape out.
Well, the last time you and I spoke, that was your advice, and I got a whole 5 gallons of put on this radio, so I don't think none of the knobs will move now, Roger.
Roger. Now, the only one that you might want to move is the VFO, but the others lock them down.
Is the VFO, but the others lock them down.
Got that right. Jim, have a fantastic day. Enjoy your net, and I did hear you say you want to move it to another hour. I don't have anything to do with that, but please check with the folks that use the band. I know that you will. Have a great day, and stay safe and stay healthy. Top of the day to you from November Sugar for Foxtrot. Bye-bye.
Roger, Roger, Reginald. 3's that way, sir. And you have a good afternoon, great weekend. This is the KC9VKV Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I just went around the horn and wound up on my local antenna, so I'll be listening on my local antenna. There's about 3 stations back there. I will take the strongest one. This is KC9VKV.
This is KC9VKV.
Pretty much the same signal on 3 different transmissions. Very, very strange, but I'm listening on different SDRs, so that should make a difference. Right now, I'm copying the mail on the Milford PA SDR and listening.
PA SDR and listening.
Kilo 9, something Charlie. Kilo 9 and something Charlie. Come back and give me your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Charlie, come back and give me your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Okay, and what's the name there?
Okay, and what's the name there?
Was that Mike in Jeffersonville?
Was that Mike in Jeffersonville?
Roger, Mike. Now, you know, I know you're just across the way from me, but I don't have much of a signal on you. I've only got about a dB and a half over my noise levels copy on you, Roger.
A dB and a half over my noise levels copy on you, Roger.
And just went to my local antennas. I should have a better copy, Mike, on you on the local antenna. Try again, please.
Antenna, try again. What is your location?
We're over in New Albany, just across the way there, Mike. Do you have a copy now?
That's the way there, Mike. Do you have a copy now?
Towers is in Jeffersonville, senior high rise. I'm on the 10th floor and I'm using a very simple random wire rigged off of the balcony. It's about all I can do for it. Pretty well.
Roger, Mike. Well, I don't have a copy on you on my local antenna system, but I am copying you in Milford, PA, Roger.
Copying you in Milford, PA, Roger.
What is your call, please?
Call here is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And could you repeat your call, please?
Kilo Victor. And could you repeat your call, please?
Yes, Kilo 9 Mike Tango Charlie. Mike Tango Charlie. I've had pretty good luck with this. You know, it oriented north-south and so I have a good, you know, west and south coverage. Do pretty well on the East Coast. It's only about 8 inches above the metal railing, but you know that seems to work well against one-to-one SCBR on most bands. It's amazing.
Roger. And what's your power, Mike? You running 100 watts?
And what's your power, Mike? You running 100 watts?
I'm running about 100 watts right now, yes.
Roger, I figured you were at least running 100 because I did have my best copy on the Milford PA SDR. So what radio are you running, Mike?
PA SDR. So what radio are you running, Mike?
FT840. I'm going to go ahead and participate in the Indiana QSO party. Well, I'll be interested to see how many contacts I can make.
Mike, it's kind of faded out that last time. Did you say you were running an FT40?
Did you say you were running an FT40?
Gosh, 840?
Gosh, 840?
Okay, I'm going to go with an 840 there, Mike. I don't have a real good copy on you, so I'll say threes to you in. Appreciate you dropping by. If you're interested in what your radio sounds like, we are recording now live till 5, so at least till 5. So if you want to hear what your radio sounds like, you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page on YouTube. And right now we're running about 1,100 recorded QSO-VLOGs. You'll be looking for one specifically called My Group Aircheck 5120. Today's date. My Group Aircheck 5120. Roger.
Aircheck 5120. Roger.
Well, all right, Mike. You have dropped out now into the Milford, PA SDR noise level, so we'll say threes to you. And thanks for checking in. If you get a chance, maybe try next Friday. We may be starting later. We'll actually be starting at 3:30 again on this coming Friday. Usually our schedule is 3:30 till 5 Friday afternoons on this frequency 7188, but we're thinking about maybe taking advantage of the band since it may be better an hour later, but we'll just take that under advisement at the moment. Threes to you, Mike. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. November 3, Uniform Delta, Quebec.
The November 3 station. November 3 station. Come back with the call sign again.
November 3 station. Come back with the call sign again.
This is November 3, Uniform Delta, Quebec. The name's Roger. What's your call? Over.
Roger, the call here is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. The name is Jim, and we're located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. And try your call sign one more time, please, sir.
Okay. And try your call sign one more time, please, sir.
November 3, Uniform Delta, Quebec.
Uniform Delta, Quebec. Roger, Roger. And what's your location, sir?
Uniform Delta, Quebec. Roger, Roger. And what's your location, sir?
QTH is in northwestern Pennsylvania on the shores of Lake Erie, just about 20 miles east of Erie, Pennsylvania, a little town called Northeast, which is in northwestern Pennsylvania. Over.
Roger, Roger. And I'm copying you on the Milford PA SDR, and it looks like you're about 8 dB over their noise level. And what radio are you running, sir?
Noise level. And what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running FG Yaesu 950 into a antique FG about 400 watts up into a Mosley Pro 67. 5 feet, over.
Roger that. And what was your output power?
Roger that. And what was your output power?
400.
Roger that. Roger that. Sounds good, sir. And we appreciate you checking by. Audio sounds really good. EQ's fine. Dynamic range is fine. You're good to go as far as I can tell.
You're good to go as far as I can tell.
And you're recording. I can listen to myself on our station, the internet, over?
Yes, we are recording now live till 5, and then we'll post it up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So if you want to go by YouTube within the next 48 hours or so, or at least by 48 hours, we'll have it uploaded. So you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. That will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We're currently running about 1,100 QSO-VLOG recordings. So you'll be looking for one in specific on page 1 with any luck, and it will be called My Group Aircheck 5120. Today's date, My Group Aircheck 5120. Roger.
Aircheck 5120. Roger.
Roger. Wow, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to do that. What was your name, over?
Name here is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike.
Name here is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike.
Okay, Jim. Great meeting you. I haven't heard you on here doing this. It sounds like you do it once a week, over?
Gosh, didn't copy that last copied most of it, but not the last couple of words. We are usually on this frequency, 7188, Friday afternoons between 3:30 and 5 at the current situation. Roger.
3 and 5 at the current situation. Roger.
Okay, Roger. Yep. Well, great meeting you. I'm going to look forward to listen to that tomorrow, Jim. This is November 3, Uniform Delta Quebec 73.
Roger. And like I say, it'll take us 48 hours to get it uploaded. Usually we say, give us a couple of days to get it uploaded. We usually get it uploaded sooner than that, but we do want a little stretch time in case things get busy and we have to do a bunch of stuff and don't have the opportunity to upload it, but we will have it uploaded to YouTube within 48 hours. So 3's to you, sir.
Within 48 hours. So 3's to you, sir.
Thank you very much. You have a great day. This is November 3 Uniform, Delta Quebec 73, Jim.
Roger. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. We are listening.
Radio you want to check out, give me a shout. We are listening.
Charlie 4, Zulu, Echo.
Okay, I got somebody, Zulu. I need the call again, slowly, phonetically, please.
Phonetically, please.
The call is Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu, Echo. Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu, Echo. Over.
Roger.
Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu, Echo, and the name?
Roger. Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu, Echo, and the name?
The name is Tommy. I'm in Jamestown, North Carolina. I'm running the Yaesu FT 991A, and I'm using a folded dipole antenna about 20 feet up off the ground. Over.
Roger. Well, I'm still copying the mail on the Milford PA SDR, and you're about 8 dB over their noise level. Come back and tell me just a little bit more about your antenna, and I will look around and check my local antenna and see if I've got better copy pathways other places. Roger.
Copy pathways other places. Roger.
Roger. And it's up about 20 feet. I've only had this maybe 2 weeks at the most. Still trying to learn how to use it and see how it sounds. Over.
Oh, roger that. Well, I'm copying the mail on, again, the Milford PA SDR. You're, like I say, about 8 dB over their local noise level. So it's a nice signal. What was the name again?
Nice signal. What was the name again?
The name is Tommy. Jim. And what was your call sign again, Jim?
The call sign here is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. KC9VKV, Roger.
KC9VKV, Roger.
Tell me, I did lose the Milford PA SDR. It happens from time to time. Although I think I have it back now. Come back and now see if I have a copy on you again.
Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu, Echo.
Yes, sir, I got you. I don't have passwords for Milford, so, they have a thing where if you don't do something after 20 minutes, they kick you off for inactivity, and then if you do something, then they kick you off after 30 minutes for being there too long. So it's hard to work with them, Roger.
It's hard to work with them, Roger.
Roger. Well, I appreciate you doing this for me. I think I doubled up on you a while ago. Thanks for giving me the signal report and let me work my radio with you there. Over.
Roger. Nice audio. Wouldn't change a thing there, Tommy.
I wouldn't change a thing there, Tommy.
Okay, Jim. I'll say 73 to you. I know some other guys trying to get to you there. So, KC9VKV. This is KC4ZZE73.
Roger. 3 Z-way. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. We are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out? Give me a shout.
London, Victoria, state of Vermont.
Somebody in Vermont it was. Sir, station checking in from Vermont. Give me the call sign again, slowly, phonetically.
Vermont, give me the call sign again, slowly, phonetically.
Sure. Kilo Baker 1, Lima, Victoria. And the name is Ben. Baker 8 November.
Roger, Ben. Well, what kind of radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Ben. What kind of radio are you running, sir?
What's my what?
What radio are you running, sir?
What radio are you running, sir?
Oh, it is FT1000MP from Yesu. FT1000MP from Yesu. That's it. And a G5RB. Go ahead.
Roger. The name is Ben. Is that a Roger?
The name is Ben. Is that a Roger?
Roger.
Okay, Ben. First off, you are really cranking pretty heavy on your compressor. We have a setup procedure that we start off with engaging the compressor, but only at a 3. The thing is, you don't want the compressor sucking up the cows mooing in the South 40. Your compressor now must be up around an 8. It's really it's a lot of compression. The thing is that you only hear it when you stop talking, and then you don't need it. So what you need is something that's working with you as you're speaking, and a 3 compression level does a beautiful job. Anything past that, it starts sucking up. Anything less than that, and it's not really working to your advantage as well as it could. So we do suggest that you engage your compressor, processor at a 3. Roger?
Your compressor, processor at a 3. Roger?
Well, to begin with, I am not using any compression at all. Okay, just no assistant. Didn't it? Oh my God, I can't believe this. Hey, you have a good girl, man. Okay, I'm in my 80s. I've done this for like some more long. 31, 30, 7
Ben, I tell you what, buddy, I do have a recording on you. My SDR failed, and I'm trying to get it back. But when you stopped speaking, your audio, when you stayed keyed after you stopped speaking, your audio came to the same level as the peaks of your voice. So don't tell me that you're not running compression. Now, you could be just running your mic hot into your ALC. I wouldn't put that past, but there is a great deal of compression going on in your signal. Roger?
Now there is. Now I'm feeding you compression. This is my compression, and my audio level is way down next to compression, and my audio level is way down next to this. It's at 7 o'clock position. It's just crazy. Anyway, you happy now?
Well, Ben, Roger, buddy, I'm sure you know what's happening. So let me say threes to you, and you have a great Friday afternoon, a beautiful weekend, Roger.
You have a great Friday afternoon, a beautiful weekend, Roger. Delta Hotel.
That Delta Hotel station, come back and try it again slowly phonetically.
Come back and try it again slowly phonetically.
Kilo Oscar 4, Delta Hotel in North Carolina.
Roger, Delta Hotel, and what's the name?
Roger, Delta Hotel, and what's the name?
The name here is Gene Golf Echo November Echo. I'm running a brand new ICOM 7300, and I would appreciate a voice report and any recommendations on improving the quality.
Okay, I'm only copying you about 2 dB above the Milford PA SDR. Tell me about 10 seconds worth of what your antenna is, and let me look around for a better path. Roger?
What your antenna is, and let me look around for a better path. Roger?
Okay, home wire antenna. One end is about 20 feet into a pine tree, to 85 feet long. The other end is to a fence post. I'm running about 100 watts here on an ICOM.
Better path to get your note all ass off the radio.
And I'm about 20 miles.
Frequencies in use, sir.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Over.
Frequencies in use, sir.
Roger, Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, that's you could use a little more EQ on the top end of your audio. What was the radio again?
EQ on the top end of your audio. What was the radio again?
Radio's at ICOM 7300. Over.
Roger. Now, are you using the supplied hand mic?
Roger. Now, are you using the supplied hand mic?
Yes, I'm using the stock mic that came with it.
Roger. You're pretty much in the clear of that last transmission, so I had a real good copy on you. Sounds pretty good. What is your current? Do you know your way around that 7300?
What is your current? Do you know your way around that 7300?
Well, pretty good. I've been playing with it some.
Alrighty. Do you know where your tone control is?
Alrighty. Do you know where your tone control is?
Tone control. Let me look a minute. Stand by. Okay, found it. Tone control.
Okay, sideband and transmit. And what are your readings on that?
And what are your readings on that?
The bass is -2. The treble is +3. Over.
Roger. I would suggest one more click on the top end EQ, plus one click more on the top end EQ, and then when you work your mic, be sure and work across it. Pull it to your lips and to the side of your lips and talk across it, as opposed to talking into it. Roger.
And talk across it, as opposed to talking into it. Roger.
Okay, I understand you recommended one more click for the treble, which I have it now up to +4. And I'm holding the mic sideways, talking across the front rather than directly into it. Over.
Yes, sir. That's the best way to use that microphone. It's a great microphone. It's an electret microphone. It has beautiful articulation. You just you can't work directly into it. If you went and got a foam windscreen from your local music store, you could put that over it, and then you could address that microphone any way that you wanted to. But right now, I would suggest just pulling it to your lips and talking across it to minimize any noises that you might be, making wind plosives and, other types of sounds that you might not want to be transmitting, Roger.
Other types of sounds that you might not want to be transmitting, Roger.
Thanks for that recommendation. Well, I just got this radio on the air Sunday afternoon, and I was wanting to get used to it, Simon. Over time, I'll be adding little bells and whistles and so forth. And I think a really good mic would compression of. I'm running a gain of 58% and compression of 4. I'm assuming that's sounding okay.
Well, what we suggest, Gene, is the compressor at a 3. Adjust your compressor at a 3. And then once you have your compressor in line at a 3, move to your ALC with the mic gain in hand and adjust the ALC where you're speaking naturally and addressing the microphone normally. And adjust that ALC reading to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3 by way of making the mic gain control adjustment. Roger?
Making the mic gain control adjustment. Roger?
Okay, I'm doing that now as I'm talking to you, so I'm turning the gain back just a little bit. Now on just about the top of the red ALC.
Yeah, Roger, Gene. Well, you know what I'm saying is that you want to run that ALC to the right-hand side of mid-scale. You know, about an equal distance from the mid-scale to all the way to the end, about right in the middle of that area to the right of mid-scale. You know, so you're running mid-scale to 2/3, Roger.
The right of mid-scale. You know, so you're running mid-scale to 2/3, Roger.
I'm sorry, you're down about dB and a half now on the Milford PA SDR. Try again.
dB and a half now on the Milford PA SDR. Try again.
Okay, I have the mic gain reduced to about 30%, and of course I'm running a 3 on the compression, and on my ALC meter it just peaks up, not quite all the way to the top, but certainly right of center. Is this better? Over?
Roger. Well, you know, what I'm saying is normally your mic gain as such doesn't matter. It's what's happening on your ALC meter. And that's why you want to adjust your mic gain to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. You know, not into maxed out, but you know, headed that way, mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC by way of adjusting your mic gain control.
On the ALC by way of adjusting your mic gain control.
Roger, okay. Well, I will back off the gain a little bit, and that's about where I'm doing now. I'm running about 2/3 of the maximum ALC. So I'll try this for a while, and thank you for your help. Over.
Roger, usually that gain on that microphone turns out to be around 50. Usually turns out to be around 50. Try running that mic at 50 and see where your ALC meter goes.
Running that mic at 50 and see where your ALC meter goes.
Okay, I'm at 24 now. I'm up to 30. Now I'm up to 40%. Now I'm up to 50%, and the ALC meter just still stays at the top pretty much.
Okay, you did fade out there a little bit. Try one more time. What is the ALC meter doing now?
Fade out there a little bit. Try one more time. What is the ALC meter doing now?
Okay, now I have the mic gain set at 50%, and the ALC is pretty much peaked. It backs down a little bit to maybe 7/8 of the scale, but most of the time it stays at the top. Over.
Roger. Well, you definitely want to stay out of the red, you know, and usually that, you know, reading is between mid-scale and 2/3. Better than halfway, you know, to the right-hand side of halfway, Roger.
Than halfway, you know, to the right-hand side of halfway, Roger.
Roger, okay. Well, I guess where I'm running now, I will continue to
Roger, Roger, Gene. Well, let me say threes to you, buddy. If you get a chance, check in next Friday and let me know how everything's moving along, Roger.
Next Friday, and let me know how everything's moving along, Roger.
Roger, sir. Getting back into this radio after being out for about 50 years. Off into other things, and now that down the road a ways, and we're launching it. So I'm really enjoying all the digital stuff that's even now. Tell how long it's been since I was in America. So there's a lot to learn, but that's the idea, and I'm enjoying it. Over.
Roger, Roger. Caught me in the middle of coffee. Excuse me. Well, anyway, Gene, you do have the radio of the hour. The 7300 is a beautiful radio. My Elmer managed to get me a 7300 for 3 months to run through its paces, and I really found the one of the most interesting things about the 7300 is the extended frequency response and the receive mode. Excuse me. Good coffee, I guess. Anyway, the thing is, what you want to do with that 7300 is first, you want to run in filter 1 position. In receive, filter 1 position is a non-filter. It's as broadband as you can get frequency-wise, frequency response-wise, in receive mode on the 7300 is a filter 1 mode. And I wasn't, hopefully you don't have to use the noise blanker, because the thing is, the noise blanker can introduce distortion to the audio. So if you don't have impulse noise and stuff like that, you don't need to run the noise blanker. And as far as the noise reduction, I found that their 7300 noise reduction introduced a echo, kind of like a reverb almost, in the processing going on with the noise reduction. So I did not run that receiver in noise reduction. So no noise blank, no noise reduction, filter 1 in receive, and also run that radio 100 to 2900. There's no reason to run that radio any other way than 100 to 2900. You have 3 options there. I suggest that you set all 3 options to 100 to 2900. So it's impossible to run that radio in any other mode, passband, but 100 to 2900. Roger?
Passband, but 100 to 2900, Roger.
Okay, Roger. I'm not sure how much of this deal I did open up on the end a little bit. I heard some other people talking about the same thing. I think the lower end was 100 to 29. I forget which it was. But anyway, I'll go take another look at those and give it a try. Over.
Yeah, Roger, Gene, like I say, run that radio 100 to 2900. And now, if you really wanted to give yourself one of the most beautiful Christmas presents early, if you go down to Wally World and get yourself a Logitech 2.1 speaker system, it'll cost you a whole bunch. It costs you $35 at Wally World. It's called a Logitech 2.1 monitor speaker system, and what that is 2 satellite speakers plus a subwoofer. Now that subwoofer will allow you to hear that 7300 unbelievably, just unbelievable. See, the problem is that the 7300 only has about a 3 or 4 inch speaker inside the box, so it can't get, and the box doesn't have the cubes to really produce audio very well. So if you really want to hear something outstanding, like I say, go down to Wally World and get yourself a Logitech 2.1 speaker system. Come home, turn that Logitech system on, run some good music like from an FM station, run some good music through that Logitech speaker system, and that is for you to adjust your subwoofer bass control to where it's you're calibrating it. As you listen to music through that Logitech system, you adjust your subwoofer level until the bass line is in perspective to the music, you know. And once you do that, you have calibrated your subwoofer. Then just take that, just plug that into your 7300 speaker out, and you'll be amazed.
300 speaker out, and you'll be amazed.
KC9VKV, this is KO4DD8. Yes, very good, thanks. Definitely give that a try. Like I said, I've just got this rig on the air, and I'm just basically using it like it came out of the box. And over time, I will be adding a speaker and a mic and, that sort of thing, maybe eventually amplifier. But those could just be down the road a little ways. But I'll certainly give this speaker a try. That's not very expensive. Actually, I have 2 or 3 speaker systems here from older computers. I may just stick one of those up here just to see how it sounds. And, of course, I want to get that too eventually with a mic. So all these are fun things to do over time and see how I like it over.
Whoever's checking their level out, this is frequency is in use. The frequency is in use. Whoever's doing the frequency is in use. And Gene, the reason I suggest the Logitech 2.1 system from Wally World is the extended low frequency response. You're not going to find that frequency response on just a computer speaker system that that doesn't have a subwoofer. The only way you can get down to below 100 cycles is with a subwoofer. Roger.
To below 100 cycles is with a subwoofer. Roger.
Okay, yeah, well, I do have one system with a big subwoofer, especially a big box before. I may try that one, but I'll certainly take a look at the Logitech system also and give it a try. I would want to add something here.
Roger, Gene. Well, let me say threes to you, sir. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully you can manage to check in next Friday. We'd love to have you. And we have been recording this. And if you go to YouTube, we'll probably have it uploaded within the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We now have about 1,100 recorded QSO-VLOGs on that page, and you'll be looking for one in particular. It's called My Group Aircheck 5120. My Group Aircheck 5120. Today's date. Roger.
My Group Aircheck 5120. Today's date. Roger.
Okay, take 5120, and I will certainly go and listen. I really do not like hearing myself. I don't sound in my head the way I do on the recording. But out of curiosity, obviously, I want to go hear it. So thanks for the information there. It's been a pleasure talking with you. 73, you have a wonderful weekend. Over.
Roger. Gene, threes to you, sir. And thanks for checking in. Have a good afternoon and a great weekend. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG Network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
VLOG Network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Victor Alpha, Mike Delta November, Lima.
Mike Delta November. Come back with the rest of the call sign. Give me the whole call sign phonetically slowly.
Come back with the rest of the call sign. Give me the whole call sign phonetically slowly.
Victor Alpha 3, Mike Delta November.
Roger. What's the name there, sir?
Roger. What's the name there, sir?
Michael.
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running, Mike?
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running, Mike?
I am running a Kenwood 570.
Roger, Roger. And what's your location, sir?
Roger, Roger. And what's your location, sir?
I am Ontario, Canada. I'm on the Munsee Delaware Nation First Nations Reserve.
Roger, Roger. Well, let's see. We have somebody tuning up, which is always par for the course. They can only tune up on an active frequency. It's just something about them that says, "Oh, gosh, they're talking on this frequency. That's the frequency I want to tune up on." Boy, we got them. Anyway, Mike, what's your antenna system again?
Mike, what's your antenna system again?
I got a inverted Z. I think it's about 35 feet in the air.
Roger, Roger. Now, just out of curiosity, what kind of SWR are you getting on that antenna?
Curiosity, what kind of SWR are you getting on that antenna?
It was flat when my house was in here. I'm visually impaired, so it was flat then. So I imagine it would be hopefully still the same.
Flat is in 1.1, 1.2, around through there?
In 1.1, 1.2, around through there?
Yes, that is correct.
Roger, Roger. And gosh, do you have any other HF antennas but that one for this? Do you have any more frequencies for this band than just that one?
Do you have any more frequencies for this band than just that one?
No, I don't. Just the one antenna.
Roger, Roger. It's kind of interesting to have options as you receive. I'm running two 10-foot magnetic loop antennas. One aimed north and south, the other east and west, and they are on a co-phase control that I can combine them and many times get 3 to 4 dB hotter signal in co-phase mode than loop 1 or 2 by themselves. Roger?
Co-phase mode than loop 1 or 2 by themselves. Roger?
No, Roger. Was it, it's running north, was it, it's not, I'm not running east and west, I'm running in between.
Roger. Well, you know, the angle of the dangle, I think, determines the transmission distance, not distance, but the direction. It is broadband, I think, broadband to the antenna, you know. So if you have a dipole, and you've always seen the EMF radiation patterns moving off the dipole head moves broadband to the dipole. Roger.
The dipole head moves broadband to the dipole. Roger.
I had it explained to me. I've never seen the pattern. It's just what it explained to me.
Roger. Well, if you have it running east and west, it'll radiate north and south. If you have it running north and south, it radiates east and west. So it radiates broadband to the way the dipole is laid out. Now, some people say 600 miles away it doesn't make any difference, but I am under the impression, and I've seen it myself, that it does. So, you know, the whole idea is that you determine if you have a favorite location that you like to communicate with, then that would determine the way you lay out your dipole antenna. Roger?
Would determine the way you lay out your dipole antenna. Roger?
Roger. Okay, yeah. Yeah, people have been telling me to move it, but I just haven't had the time, and I was just glad to get up there and get on it and use it. So I got all summer to move my legs around to the proper directions. But yep, thanks for the comeback.
Roger, Roger, yes, and your audio looks fine. It looks to be about 3 dB. Average percent of peak modulation is between 80 and 85%. EQ curve sounds nice, nice and intelligible. So you're a good sounding station, sir.
Intelligible? So you're a good sounding station, sir.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, my helper, he set it up, and all I do is turn it on and change the VFO. That's all I do to it. I don't get fancy with the buttons. It's got the voice guide in it, but I'm still reading through the manual on the computer to know what I'm really doing with it. And I just got like December 2018, and this just got this radio last year, so
Roger, Roger, Mike. Well, I just lost my my Milford PA SDR, and let me see if I can get it back here real quick before we say goodbye. Okay, I think I'm running back there. Come back to me, sir, for just a moment.
I think I'm running back there. Come back to me, sir, for just a moment.
Gotcha, sir. Gotcha. Milford's back. Milford is a great repeater, Milford PA. SDR, because it's kind of halfway between us, and that was my idea from past experiences with stations that are only running 100 watts. I would say, gosh, I wish I had a better copy on them, and so I did find that if I could find an SDR about halfway between myself and the other station, then it just worked out great. So Milford is that halfway point, Roger.
Great. So Milford is that halfway point, Roger.
Roger. What's your actual QTH?
QTH here is directly opposite of Louisville, Kentucky, just on the other side of the Ohio River at Louisville, Kentucky. Roger.
The other side of the Ohio River at Louisville, Kentucky. Roger.
No, Roger. No, I was just spinning the vehicle and I heard you talking in there, so I stopped and listened for a while and thought I'd give it a shout.
Roger, Mike. Well, we are recording. We have been recording since 5, since 3:30. Hello. And we do record live till 5 and then post it up on YouTube. And if you'd like to hear what your station sounds like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're now running about 1,100 recorded QSO-VLOGs. But you'll be looking for one in specific on page 1, and it's called My Group Aircheck 5120. Today's date. My Group Aircheck 5120. Roger.
My Group Aircheck 5120. Roger.
Roger. Oh, I'm just trying to type that into my computer here so I can look for it later. You said 48 hours?
Yeah, it usually takes us a couple of days to get it uploaded. A lot of times it's sooner than that, but we want a little leeway in case we get real busy, Roger.
But we want a little leeway in case we get real busy, Roger.
Roger.
Well, all right, Mike, let me say threes to you, sir. You have a real good afternoon, great weekend. And if you get a chance to join us next Friday, again, we start about 3:30 till 5. We're maybe doing an hour later, but that's in the future. Right now, it stands 3:30 till 5. Roger?
In the future. Right now, it stands 3:30 till 5. Roger?
Oh, Roger, yep. All right, 73. Pleasure talking to you. Yes, I will write that down too next Friday. All right, 73. I forgot it already. VA3MDN.
Roger, Roger, Mike, KC9VKV. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. NJ9U.
Something new?
Something new?
Norway Juliet 9 United.
Norway Juliet 9 United, Roger.
Norway Juliet 9 United, Roger.
Yeah, good evening, afternoon there. Name here is Phil. Top Hotel India, Lima. I think I might be a neighbor there to you, here in Clarksville.
Roger, Phil, I've got a copy on you, sir, but I'm copying you on Rochester. Come back and tell me about 10 seconds of what your antenna is, and let me check around and see if I might have a better copy on another antenna.
And see if I might have a better copy on another antenna.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Real quickly. All right, KC9, I'm not sure your suffix there, but NJ9U. I'm currently on a 40-meter end fed. I'm experimenting for Indiana QSO party tomorrow, and wanting something. I've kind of got it low so I can, work well here in the southern part of the state, and once you kind of give me a comparison on this one, then I'll go to my regular antenna and see if you notice any difference. So KC9, I think it's CKV NJ9U.
Roger, Phil. Call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and I'm on my local antenna, so I have a really good copy on you right now. What radio are you running?
Running a Kenwood 2000, and it's barefoot. I'm not running any. I guess I'm running about 90 watts here at the moment.
Roger, and what kind of mic are you running?
It's a kind of like a Shure 58 knockoff. About the same specs, and there, kind of got it on a boom.
Roger, do you have a foam windscreen on it?
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Am I driving a little hard?
Well, I'm listening to it, trying to figure out exactly where it is. Usually, we have a generic setup for most radios. It involves engaging the compressor at a token 3, engaged your compressor at a 3, and then move to your ALC and adjust your ALC by way of your mic gain to a mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Yeah, I've kind of got this set up for, at the moment, for my Heil headset for contesting tomorrow. So I've kind of got a couple different settings depending on what mic I'm on. Right now my settings is really not tuned for this microphone, but like I say, I've got it more geared up for the Heil.
Oh, Roger. Well, we are recording, and if you would be interested in hearing what that mic sounds like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that is our QSO-VLOG net, and we have right at present about 1,100 recorded QSO-VLOGs. You'll be looking for one in specific on page 1. It's called My Group Aircheck 5120, today's date. My Group Aircheck 5120. Roger?
Oh, Roger, Roger. I appreciate that, Jim. So, been out on the bike yet?
No, I haven't been on the bike in quite a while, Roger.
Yeah, right. You wasn't sure, and yeah, I'm on furlough from the salt mines, and was listening to the governor's broadcast earlier. So, looks like within a week or so, two, I probably will get called back to the mines. But I'm sure we're going to be doing it in a limited capacity. I think we're going to be doing one-on-one with the patient, and until things kind of get more normalized before we get it fired up all the way.
Roger that. And what's your QTH?
I'm
I'm over but near right next to Providence High School.
Is that that's right at the dividing line? Is that Clarksville?
Yeah, it's Clarksville, and when you say dividing line, yeah, between Clarksville, Jeffersonville, and New Albany, because Gutford Road, part of Gutford, and is still actually county. Yeah,
Roger. Well, it's usually, it's very unusual that I've got a good copy on you because, local traffic the whole thing, HF moves by skywave, and so usually local traffic is a problem, but you're 12 over my local noise level, Roger.
Yeah, and you're bumping just shy of 40 for me. If you don't mind, I've got an off-center fed as well as an in-fed 8010. If you don't mind, I'll give you a quick check, or switch over to the other two. And I think you probably, if this is doing what I'm wanting it to do, I'll probably should go down on those other two antennas because of what you just said.
Well, I'm looking at a VU meter, so I've got your audio calibrated at 0 level, so I could tell pretty well the ERP differences, Roger.
Yeah, okay, stand by. Let me go over to I'll be going, let's see here, number 2, that'll be the InFit 8010, stand by.
This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, in the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. Right now we're working with Phil, NJ9U, and he's making some changes in his antenna system as we speak.
All right, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, this is NJ9U. Same power and everything. The only thing different is the antenna, and again, this would be the InFit 8010, the my antenna.
Roger. Might be, it's very close, might be just a dB softer than the other one. Just a little bit lighter by a dB or so.
Okay, Roger. Let me switch over to the 80 meter off center fed, so stand by. NJ9U.
Station calling, stand by, please, in QSO at the moment, but what was the call, real quick?
Kilo Radio for Lima Zulu Papa.
Lima Zulu Papa, Roger.
Kilo Radio for Lima Zulu Papa.
Roger, stand by, please. It'll be just a minute.
Okay, KC9, Victor K. Victor. This is NJ9U on my trusty 80 meter off center fed, and I would think this would probably be the least of the three.
Yes, sir. That was a -3 peak, -3. The other was about a -1 peak from the where we started. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, this one. Here, let me do one quick. Here. Yeah, okay, yeah, let me, SWR on this one, this band is a little bit higher, so I actually hit the auto-tuner. Did that help it any at all? Probably it shouldn't.
No, it's about the same. And, we probably are too close to really make any constructive observations. What you want to do is get out there about 600 miles or so.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, between the two, the 8010 is usually better for me to the south, and then this one is usually better up to 7 land because they're orientated just a little bit different. All right, you got people standing by, and like I say, in the little 40 meter infed, it's aimed right at you, probably pretty close. So, and it's kind of sloping toward New Albany. So, all right, thank you there, Jim, and thanks for the checkout, and hope to catch you down the log later on. So, KC9, Victor K. Victor, this is NJ9U, off and clear. 73s, my friend.
Roger, Roger, Phil. Now, if you really want to do yourself a favor, you know, we are talking HF frequencies, so we don't have to be rocket scientists to make this work, but get you a little metal box and put you some connectors on it and a rotary switch, like a 6-position rotary switch, and you can ABCD your antennas, and you can just sit there and play, because even, you know, with one antenna, the waveform changes from vertical to horizontal all the time. It does never stay the same. So you know, you can just sit there and ABC, and you're always looking for the hottest signal. Roger.
Roger, Roger. That's exactly what I do. I've got that set up all for tomorrow, and yep. That's one thing I learned years ago when I had the tri-bander up, and you know, on the station, you know, talking about 20 years or more ago. But I had a homebrew 20-meter vertical, and depending on the night-day line, for about a 10 to 15 max window, a lot of times on far DX, the vertical would outperform the beam.
Oh, Roger, yeah, because it's looking at a lower takeoff angle. Well, gosh, Phil, let me say threes to you, sir, and we have been recording, so if you want to hear what your radio sounds like, if you go to YouTube, we'll have it uploaded within the next couple of days. Go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. That will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We're running about 1,100 recorded QSO-VLOGs at the moment. You'll be looking for one specifically entitled My Group Aircheck 5120, today's date. My Group Aircheck 5120. Roger.
Roger, Roger. Again, 73s, and thanks for your time and your help. NJ9, you off and clear.
Roger, Roger, sir. 3 is that way. Have a great weekend. This is KC9VKV. Now, there was a KI4LZP, I believe, out there. Going once, KI4LZP.
KI4LZP.
Nothing heard. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I heard somebody November something. I think it was November 4.
November 2,
November 2, Sierra Romeo Foxtrot.
This is Randy, Eastern Lake, Ontario, New York.
Ontario, New York. Is it right?
Yes, it is.
Is it right?
Okay, I've got Milford back up, sir. Give me about 10 seconds. Tell me what kind of antenna you're running, and I'll see if Milford is cooperating for us. Roger?
I'll see if Milford is cooperating for us. Roger.
I'm talking on an ICOM 7300, pushing 100 watts.
Copy that on my local antenna, the 7300, Roger. Okay, signal's kind of coming and going. What is your location again, please, sir?
Ontario, New York, 35 miles north of Syracuse.
And what's the name? Into SRF, what's the name up that way?
Randall.
Randy or Randall? Which one do you prefer, sir? Randy or Randall? Which one do you prefer, sir? Gosh, I only have about a dB above my noise level. Copy on you, sir. Try one more time. Well, all right, Randy, I'll call you Randy too. I already have it written down as Randy. And you are running that 7300, the radio of the century, Roger?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to figure out what antenna works the best.
Okay, what I'm wondering is why I don't have you better on my Rochester or Milford SDR receivers. I'm copying you only about a dB and a half above my noise level on my local antenna, Roger. Yeah, I don't have any other copy on any of the other SDRs, just on my local antenna.
Just on my local antenna.
Randy, I think you faded out, buddy. I think you have faded out, gone with the wind. Try one more time. We'll see what's going on. Okay, so I thought I heard you in there about a half a dB above my noise level. Now, let me see if I can play Johnny Carson Carnac. You're running 100 watts into a dipole that is running north and south. I didn't copy you. Again, I'm forecasting that you're running that 7300 at 100 watts, and your antenna is a dipole that runs north and south. Is that a Roger?
Sure.
Well, gosh. Randy, I have lost you, good buddy. You have faded out, unfortunately. I don't know. The QSO gods have not been good for the moment. They have faded you out. I did have a pretty good signal on you. I had maybe 4 or 5 dB at the best, but right now you have faded down. Try one more time, see where it goes. Well, Randy, you have gone with the wind, sir. You have faded out completely. I have no copy on you anywhere. So let me say threes to you. And I did have just a tad of a copy on you. So if you want to hear the tad of the copy, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page, you'll be looking for an entity called My Group Aircheck 5120. My Group Aircheck 5120, today's date, Roger. So threes to you, buddy. And if you get a chance, maybe try to check in next Friday. We'll be doing this thing from 3:30 till 5, and we'll look for you then if you get a chance. This is KC9VKV. Gosh, we're approaching turning into pumpkin at 5, so we have time for one more. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 3, Tango, Yankee.
Whiskey 3. Tango Yankee, and you might be just a little low in frequency. We're on 7188, Roger.
Okay, stand by.
Yeah, you're sounding better.
Okay, this is W3TTY. We should be on frequency.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's the name there?
Okay, the name is Stan, Sugar Tango Alpha November, and we're over here in Pennsylvania.
What part of Pennsylvania, sir?
Eastern part of Pennsylvania, 40 miles north of the city of Philadelphia.
Roger. And what radio are you running, sir?
Okay, this is an Icon 7610, and we're running about 400 watts.
7610 is my favorite radio. Love to set those up, but we have a setup procedure for that radio that starts with your compressor engaged at about a 3. your compressor engaged at about a 3/8 token amount, but it does exactly what it needs to do, but you'll never hear it working, and that is the secret to a nice setup. You don't want to hear the compressor compressing and sucking up the cows mooing in the back 40, Roger.
Roger, okay, I'll just make a note. I'll check to see where it is, but it's set at 3, you say, okay.
Roger, Roger. Then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC to mid-scale to 2/3. Just turn your mic gain up or down to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, ALC mid-scale to 2/3. Okay, got it.
All right, and then the thing I love about this 7610, you have a button there called Quick.
Okay.
And you take Quick to Drive.
Alrighty.
And Drive normally is at 50%.
Okay.
You want to move Drive to about 60, maybe 62%, Roger?
Okay, I'm writing this down, 62%, okay.
All right, and that should give you average percent of peak modulation somewhere around 85%. So you will be extremely loud. What I suggest is that you be sure and stay on axis on your microphone, because between the drive increase and whatever, that tries to keep your audio level right maxed out, nice. It's, like I say, you don't hear anything working, but it's just a very loud signal. But you want to stay on axis to your microphone, because if you pull off mic, that situation will try to keep the level at 100%, and you will not have a syllabic range because you will be off axis to your microphone, so you could sound a little bassy. So you want to stay on mic at all times, Roger?
Okay, Roger. Real good. And your call, sir?
Call here is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. We're located across the Ohio from Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. Roger.
Okay, Roger. Real good. Yeah, Roger. Okay, real good. Well, that's good. I'm going to see where we're set. I'm not sure where we are, but we'll play around with the radio. Hey, thanks for the comments. Every little thing helps, and you never know when you're going to hit the utopia if you ever get there. You know what I mean?
Oh, Roger, Roger. Now, the beautiful thing about the 7300 and the 7610, they have a very nice stonewall limiter. And what you're looking at on your ALC is the output from the limiter. Now, there's no way to adjust the limiter per se, but only through your mic level and what the ALC meter is showing you. So when you're running mid-scale to 2/3, you are taking what, that plus the compressor at 3, you are taking a normal 10 dB dynamic range humanoidal speaking situation and reducing it to 3 dB, which is ideal for transmission. Roger?
Okay, real good. All right. Okay, hey Jim, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to play around with it a bit here and see what happens. All righty. Hey, we'll let you run. I think you said 5 o'clock is your wishing hour, so we appreciate the commentary, sir. This is W3CTY.
Roger, Roger, Stan, and we have been recording, so if you want to hear what your radio sounds like at the moment, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. Now, on that page, we're running about 1,100 recorded QSO-VLOGs. You'll be looking for one in specific. It's called My Group Aircheck 5120, which is today's date. My Group Aircheck 5120. Roger?
Okay, we got it, 5120. Hey, very good, Jim. We'll look that up and see what we sound like.
Roger, Roger, Stan. 3 Way, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, and we are now 4 minutes past 5. We were going to hang around for a little bit, but I don't think so. I think we're going to call it quits. Get out while the getting's good and all that stuff. So let me just say threes to everybody who managed to participate. And again, if you want to hear what your radio sounded like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to the QSO-VLOG page. And on that that page, the one for today, is called My Group Aircheck 5120, and it should be, with any luck at all from YouTube, it should be on page 1. So you're looking for My Group Aircheck 5120. So, with that said, this is KC9VKV, and we'll be returning the frequency to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV, clear.